Hi everyone. Thank you for coming. We've put together I would say a bit of an improvised get-together as a result of what's happening downstairs, but more importantly as a result of the terrorist attack in Jerusalem yesterday. So thank you all for coming at short notice. Our guests with us, the Consul General, Councilman Jack Weiss, Dr. Billy Ingram, thank you for being with us. General Shimon Erem, thank you for being with us. Rabbi Wiskila, thank you for being with us. Allison Taylor, Esther and Roz of Stand With Us, and Rabbi Dayan, all of our friends, thank you so much for coming at such short notice. The Consul General will read a prepared press statement, and then we can take a few questions.
Thank you for being here. Segev Paniel Avichai, 15 years old. Neria Cohen, 15 years old. Yonatan Yitzchak Eldar, 16 years old. Yonadav Chaim Hirschfeld, 19 years old. Yochai Lifshitz, 18 years old. Avram David Moses, 16 years old, an American citizen. Roy Roth, 18 years old. And Doron Mehareta, 26 years old. Today Israel is burying these 8 young students, the best and the brightest, who were gunned down in cold blood while studying Bible in Jerusalem. The murder of students during a religious event expresses the most deplorable Islamic fundamentalist extremism. Hamas has blessed this massacre, and there were celebrations in the streets of Gaza. From the heart of our country in Jerusalem to our southern border, Israel is battling this terrorism on a daily basis. Gaza has become an outpost of terrorism since January. There have been over 400 strikes on Israel from Gaza. Israel is the forefront of the struggle against terrorism and will continue to defend its citizens who suffer under this threat on a daily basis. Israel expects the nations of the world to support its war against those who murder students, fathers, mothers, and children. Israel will never allow terrorism to achieve its goals. Such vicious terrorist attacks expose the true nature of the terrorist threat. A clear, decisive, and uncompromising stand is necessary against such terrorism.
Today, Los Angeles grieves with Israel, and our hearts go out to Israel particularly because in Los Angeles only 10 years ago, we experienced a situation where a man filled with hate entered a Jewish center and shot Jewish children indiscriminately. It was the most deplorable action, the most deplorable crime in Los Angeles' recent history, and for that reason, the people of Los Angeles, remembering what happened in Granada Hills, grieve and mourn with the people of Israel. It is an extraordinarily sad commentary that on this day, when all of us mourn, that anyone would choose to come outside the Israeli consulate and defile our day of mourning by spewing messages of hate. That is unfortunately what happened today, but I am confident that the good people of Los Angeles understand the stakes and the issues and the morality here.
I have 2 sons. They're twins. They're 6 years old. And every morning they pray, Shalom, Shalom, Yerushalayim. They pray for the peace of Jerusalem. I was just in Israel about a week and a half ago with a group of about 70 people. And for many of them, it was their very first time visiting the land of Israel. And when I read the accounts yesterday of what happened at the yeshiva, I was devastated. I was heartbroken to think that one day my children are going to be in some educational institution, and what if it were them? They love life, they love learning, they love growing, and then to have that occur on a holy place, studying a holy book, the Torah, that's now bloodied with innocent lives who have nothing to do with the conflict. And in my estimation, it is a very cowardly act to attack civilians. And I came because I want to stand with Israel. I want to stand as a friend. stand as a pastor, and I want to continue to support in whatever way I can. And if the UN Security Council doesn't have the courage to stand up and be counted and to lend its voice of condemnation, then we have to be a committee of one and do it ourselves. And it is barbaric, it is shameful, and especially not just the act, but the fact that it would be celebrated as a victory, like they had won the World Cup or something along that line. And so I came just to stand in support as a friend.
It's fascinating somewhat that Jews and Muslims pray to the same God. We say, Adonai hu Elohim, the Lord is our God. They say, Allahu Akbar, God is great. But I wonder what God they are praying to when they can celebrate violence. To enter a house of worship, a house of study, a house of spirituality, and to desecrate it with violence and bloodshed. If that were to happen in the Jewish community, if God forbid one of our own were to ever venture to do that in any house of worship, in the Islamic world or in the Christian world, God forbid. What is the difference between the Israeli government and the Jewish people and those downstairs who have set up a makeshift mosque on Wilshire Boulevard? Is that we would be the first to condemn our own for doing that. And we have in the past on the isolated incidents when it's happened. But they do not stand and condemn. Instead, they celebrate. They venerate it as an act of triumph, of heroism, and of holiness. Therefore, it cannot be that we really pray to the same God, because our God is rooted in the word shalom, the word peace, the word kedusha and holiness. And there is nothing holier than life itself. And we as a people celebrate only life, not death. We raise our children to a culture of life and of peace, not a culture of violence celebrating death. We stand in deep mourning today, and we send our tanchumim, our comfort and condolences, to the families of those who lost their lives in a place which is the heart of religious Zionism, Yeshivat Milkaz Alav, a beautiful place which we hope will be purified from this terrible bloodshed and will stand strong again as being one of the pillars of Israeli Zionism for all of Am Yisrael in Israel and around the world. Shabbat Shalom.